truth, because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to I don't dislike George Washington. I don't dislike even some of the most racist people in history. But I want to know their history, but I also want to know not only that, you know, hey, they were whatever, but I also want to know about the Shirley Chisholms. I also want to know about the Frederick Douglass. And not even Nat Turner. I want to know more about Nat Turner than him just being some revolutionary. I want to know the Nat Turner that was out in the fields. I want to know the Nat Turner that grew up as a kid. I don't want to know just the narrative. You know, tuned into our big self. 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 Tuned into our big self.
Straight to fuel and pain constantly used. It slows the sludge under the street, electric fuse. New Jack City. New Jack City. New Jack City. Be in high fashion in New Jack City.
Yeah, that's right. New Jack City.
Circumstantial Saint.
New Jack City.
You know the journey has changed. The universe won't put you right of place.
That's right.
New Jack City. Soul, some say, is gone. Those are the ones who lack a soul, the ones who don't know. There's a whole world beyond these gates, another world, one which, in it, we can play. The ones with souls know, plan, and plot, make a way. Soul knows mother, soul wants to connect and be with her. Soul should be in all creatures, organic or not. Yet the elite seek to rip the souls from even the smallest and purest of bodies. They feed themselves and give scraps to the rich, and the ones born with no souls don't know just what exactly exists. They're too busy, too square, just not really even there to understand all that truly is. They give and take of essence, rich foils of plunder and escape. Reality is few. Prices rise a time or two in the land where Jack was roamed. One didn't have such a dark fate. The heart of the city is where not just leaves but shadows fall. It's also where struggles and battles hold us all. This is about rising up against all odds and mountains around against all despair. This city is a tale of hope's flame ignited in the air.
That's right.
New Jack City is what they call this domain.
Grand Risings, and welcome back to another episode of the Urban Conservative with Chaz Neal. We're excited to have you join us on this journey of thoughtful discourse and community engagement. The Urban Conservative is proudly sponsored by the Leon Block Network, an organization committed to promoting transparency, truth, and accountability in our media landscape. Here at the Urban Conservative, our mission remains steadfast: to bring you the latest news directly from the streets, addressing critical topics such as gun violence, crime, politics, and perhaps most importantly, exploring solutions to the profound challenges our communities face. As we embark on this third season, the focus is clear. It's time to actively contribute to the transformation of our communities for the better. How can we achieve this? The answer lies in a multifaceted approach that starts with reconnecting with our core family values. Strengthening our sense of community is paramount. Fostering bonds that transcend the barriers that often divide us. Moreover, it involves embracing our foundational roots, recognizing the historical and cultural threads that weave through the fabric of our society. In this season, we're calling for more than words. We seek action, It's a plea to move beyond mere rhetoric and engage in tangible, impactful, and initiatives that contribute to positive change. The time for empty words is past. Now more than ever, we need to put our convictions into action. Together, united by a common purpose, we can make a substantial and lasting difference in the well-being of our communities. So join us on this journey as we explore not only the challenges, but also the opportunities for growth and progress. Together, let's turn our shared vision for stronger, safer, and more connected communities into a reality. Thank you for being a part of the Urban Conservative with Chaz Neal, a platform dedicated to fostering change and making a positive impact on the world around us. Shut up and help. Good morning, 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 good morning. I got something special for y'all this morning, man. I'm doing something different. I I wanted to show appreciation and for who the urban conservative is, and the reason why I'm here today and being able to do um what I'm doing. So I wanted to give him his flowers. I know this movement can be a lot of things, man, and a lot of things that we don't get is appreciation. We don't get our flowers when we do great things, but we're often criticized for doing the things that are right. Um, and really, this is about Circumstantial Saint. But a big part of Circumstantial Saint is John Taylor Toland uh, and the Leon Block. And so I wanted to bring him on here so people, my viewers who really don't know John Taylor, who don't know Circumstantial Saint, to get to know him, to get to know who the Leon Block, to get to know Circumstantial Saint, and to be able to understand um, why he's doing what he's doing. What's the sound behind Circumstantial? What is the the message, the vision behind the Leon Block? So with that being said, man, let me bring up Circumstantial Saint to the stage. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Urban Conservative.
Thank you, Grand Rising brother. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate the love. I really do.
Oh man, it's definitely. Like I said, man, I got to give you your flowers. You know what I'm saying? And I know that um, being in this movement and the way that you're going with it is not a direction that others are going with it. Um,
Right.
and it's something that I believe that we used to say this in 2020 is that the revolution won't be televised, but you'll be able to see it on social media.
Yep.
Uh, and that's the direction I feel like we're going because the news doesn't give us what we need to see and what we need to learn, and we're not educated enough either. Um, but I want you to be able to, before we start any of this, I want you to give an introduction of who John Tell, who Circumstantial Saint is, and how in your history. I have some questions. I don't really want to turn this into an interview. I want it to be more of a conversation,
Mhm.
um, so that you're comfortable. You're not saying that you wouldn't be comfortable because I'm your brother. We talk damn near every day. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get you comfortable so that you're open. You know what I'm saying? And um, because I want people to see the side that they don't get to see. They only get to hear a narrative half the time about us, and they've already judged us. So I want people to see a side that I see, that the Circumstantial Saint and the John Taylor Toland that I know. So the questions that I'm going to be asking are going to be, some are going to be personal, some are because I know you better than a lot of people, so.
Mhm.
But I want
Mhm.
you to know that I want this to not be as an interview, but more as a conversation.
Okay.
All right.
So, I mean, normally I would say, the traditional, I'm a poet, producer, journalist, activist, writer, author, all those things, which I am. Uh, but given what you just said, uh, I'm a human being. I have fears and vulnerabilities just like anyone else. And a lot of the work that I do can be draining yet rewarding at the same time, because in its simplicity I'm very connected to the world, but also just as alienated from the world at the same time. But the work that I do, I feel, is very crucial in these times, especially when we are so far removed from one another, living in a heightened sense of individualism in 2024. I think it is very crucial for as many people as possible to stay steadfast in community and engaging with one another to help lift one another up. I think that that is very important. And I think that there are many different paths to do so. And so, myself and the way that I have sought to connect, inform, uplift people may be frowned upon by a lot of people. Not everyone wants truth and information. Some people just like salacious content, uh, a bunch of fluff. They just want to be entertained. And while that may be nice for the moment, what is it doing for your future or your your offspring's future, your descendants? And so uh, I started the Leon Block in 2020, not just because of or in response to George Floyd, like many other people had done, and many people saw it as a fad, took it as, I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon, get some likes for now, and then by the end of 2020, they went back to their regular lives or whatever normalcy they could find. That was never my goal. When the pandemic hit, I saw that as a means to redirect my entire life, as many people did. When the pandemic hit, everyone stopped and said, "What am I doing with my life now? What direction am I going to go in this new day?" For me, it was about informing people, halting where we were as far as a degradation of society, and seeking to connect people in ways that we had lost touch with. And then you throw in the summer of racial awakening and human rights issues and social justice issues. Uh, it just ballooned. And ever since, the plan, the narrative, the goals have become all the more clear, but all the more detailed at the same time. And when I met you, the urban conservative, those things became even more apparent. So now I know that, like, what I see and feel, I'm not alone. There's just many of us spread throughout, and a lot of us, uh, people that do this, feel go through the same things, the same feelings and emotions, and the same trials and tribulations in different ways, albeit, but still the same things. We just, a lot of times, are kept far few in between and don't have access to one another. So part of what I think my purpose is these days, and what I'm supposed to be doing, is helping connect these people, helping to speak to the inner core of people that are fighting on the front lines every day, to people that are dropping little seeds of good faith and good information and community and self-love and empowerment every day, whether it's through, no matter what kind of art they're putting out into the world, that they're helping to connect, inform, or elevate the world and people in its totality. So I've learned to use every aspect of myself to give back to the world, is the best way that I can explain really what it is that I do in general. Um, is always thinking about how I can give back to the world, to not only leave my mark and make an active change in the world, but how I feel about the world and how I want to connect it. I want to be the change that I can feel and see in my heart, I want to tangibly feel that in the world in some minute way, knowing that I helped to contribute to that change. So that's just a little bit about how I feel about what I do.
So what I got on the screen is, 2020, was, we hear the big names, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, uh, George Floyd, but something actually happened in Lancaster that year. Um, there was a police case where Ricardo Munoz um, was killed by police. And as you see on this, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is an
Yep.
article that was done um, by Fox 43. And as you can see, you got the ski
Yeah.
man, the goggles on, you know what I'm saying? Because we
Alexa.
all knew what it was out there, you know what I'm
I was
saying?
standing right there when she got interviewed. Like I was
Oh,
right
that ain't
behind the.
you.
That's not me. That's
Oh,
a good
damn.
friend of mine.
That's somebody else. Oh, I thought
Hmm.
that was you for a minute.
Nah, that was a good friend of mine who I was
It's okay
literally
now. It's
standing
4 years ago. Statute of
yeah,
limitations has ran out.
I was right there though. Literally, I was like right behind the camera as she was getting interviewed. Um,
Okay.
but she was someone who is one of the, as we call Lancaster 13, who was charged with $1 million bail. They tried to pin her as one of the ringleaders because of, as you can see, how she was dressed. Um, saying that they sought to do harm to the police station and so on and so forth. Yeah.
No, because that was and I do want to get into that.
Oh wow, I'm in the article. Wow.
Yeah, you never knew that?
No, I mean I was interviewed so many times and on the news so many
No, and
times,
what's
but I never
crazy?
looked. I never went and looked myself up or went and viewed any of the footage I was in or none of that.
I literally this morning when I wanted to, because I found actually a couple podcasts um when you ran for Lancaster
So,
City Council. I also found another one you did with the, I want to say, and I know I'm going to murder their name, Alcoholics, I think it was, Alcoholics.
oh, alcoholics. Yeah.
Yes. I found a lot of interesting, so it gave me a chance to like hear and just see the difference of, I looked at your answer. I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm going to get into this because it, I want to go through a sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And because I can find a lot of stuff about you, from 2020 and beyond,
Word.
from being an activist to running in the getting into the public figure, running for politics for the Lancaster City Council. um and that's one thing that I wanted to talk about, because I found an interview that you did with all the candidates that were running at that time.
Oh yeah.
um and there was some very interesting questions, and I think it was a kind of a setup a little bit when you looked at the
Yeah.
questions,
Yeah.
because it talked about homelessness, it talked about police brutality,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of, I think it was, your answers were so much different
Mm-hmm.
than everybody else's. And what's
Mm-hmm.
crazy is I looked at that and I looked at everybody else's, and I'm like, how the hell did he not actually win?
Yeah.
Because when you look at your answers, that was somebody that was, everybody else's words were straight. Now I'm not gonna, it was more like a runaround, right?
Right. Yep.
But yours was actually involving the community that you came from,
Yep.
which a lot of people don't do. You know what I'm saying? They go get the people, the business owners, they go get the stakeholders.
Right.
Um, and I feel like your message it was right. But what had happened is it fell on the wrong ears.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Wrong people were listening.
right. And that's the, I think the key problem is that how do we reach everybody and to understand? Because that's one of the questions that I wanted to ask you is how, as somebody that that was running independent media and then go into politics, how can you, you know, because I'll tell you right now, I feel like my elected officials don't understand my struggle, right? Don't understand the areas that we come from. But I know I can never understand where they come from, right?
Right.
Or where they live now, because of the simple fact of that it's a whole nother perspective, it's a whole nother opinion. So and it's I think I'm getting off kind of base here a little bit more, leading into this what I want to. Um, so what I'm saying is, like, do you feel that you would have been able to think of all constituents when you were a city council member? Or would
Me
you be like how people are now, more about corporations and money?
me personally, I put myself in everyone's shoes when I think about anything. I'm just a big philosopher. So when it came to, do I represent all my constituents or just the people that I sought out to represent? I feel as though it's an elected official's duty to represent all citizens, all the constituents, not just a certain facet of people that got them elected. And for me, I think it's important to see everyone. See, we're human, so we should be able to have the capacity to see a little bit of ourselves in everyone, even if it's someone's going through something different at a different point in time in their life. You can certainly relate in some instance. I felt like going into that, a lot of there was no platform for me to really do that. They kind of push you into certain pockets based off of how you look or how they push you into a certain box. You have to fit into a certain box, and if you don't, they will definitely make you an outlier. And when they otherize you, we already have that in society, the outcast. So it's easy for the general populace to pick up on who the outcast is and outcast them subliminally. I think us as a species, we do very good at that. And I think the way that our system is set up, it's very rigged to be that way. So everyone is pushed to fall in line. And I don't do that. I seek to connect everybody. And when I think about how I think things could be, uh, in the sense of getting things started and changing things, shaking things up politically, right? I think about the movie, was it Head of State with Chris Rock?
Chris Rock, yeah,
Yeah. It's a comedic take on things, but he wasn't changing himself. Did he put on a suit?
right,
Yes. I don't like that. I'm not wearing a suit because I don't wear a suit every day. If I wore a suit every day and felt like, I might wear a suit sometimes because it feels good to wear a suit sometimes, but that's not me. So you wouldn't see me wearing a suit all the time. You'll see me wear a sweatsuit because that's what's comfortable to me. And if you don't want to take me serious because I'm in a sweatsuit, that's more of a reflection of you than it is on me.
right.
But see, we're told differently. We're told differently, but think about how you feel about that. Is that how you actually feel? There's people, I think we're getting to a point where we're past the point where wearing too many tattoos is taboo. But I mean, 10 years ago, don't you get a tattoo on your neck? No one's going to hire you.
Right.
That kind of thing. I think as things change, they change because we challenge the status quo, because we push those boundaries. If no one's pushing those boundaries, how are things ever going to change? And it takes even just one person stepping up and saying, I'm going to do something different because this is for the birds. This is not what I signed up for. If
You
all of
know,
y'all want to go that way, y'all can go that way. But I feel in my gut that something don't feel right about this. So I'm going to follow my gut.
that's one thing that I wanted to ask you, because I know of, through our getting to know each other throughout the years, is one thing that you do is seek to challenge the status quo and
Yep.
inspire change. Um, and how do you see, going forward, yourself playing in a larger movement towards, people being more informed and conscious in this world as we're heading into, rough patches?
Hmm. Uh, that's a really, really good question. And it's something that I have been pondering myself this year. As we as a platform, as a network, seek to grow and change with the times, it is crucial as an entity to start predicting and start thinking about the future a lot, actually. And so we have to look at trends, we have to look at where things are gravitating, how people are maneuvering things nowadays, and things are so hectic, so over stimulated. It can be bewildering sometimes, and it's hard to find your own footing and ground, right? If we are to be beacons of hope and beacons of light, we are light bearers as a network, as people that provide information and analyze things and commentate on crucial topics. It's important for us to foresee things and be as informed as we can be as well. And so that is always going to be the basis of our foundation, is definitely being um what's the word, people that you know we want to foresee, we want to understand the present, but we also want to constantly make predictions about the future, what could happen globally, politically, financially, spiritually, economically, emotionally, mentally, as a society, as a group of people, our behaviors, all of that, because all of that makes a big impact on our world. It makes a big impact on how we change the world, down to minute differences from how we increase or decrease our school taxes so that we can be able to afford more things, like actually having real art back into our schools, all the way up to how are we going to dismantle this empire, this imperialist entity of which we live under, whereas the president of the United States really doesn't have a big part to play in that. Uh, it's more about the few people at the top who harbor literally most of the world's wealth and control just about every facet of our lives. If people aren't informed of that or being constantly reminded that they're being pushed and guided every single day, how is the average person going to think about the fact that they can actually change their life more than they realize they can? And I think for us as a network, I think that is definitely a constant goal that will always be there, is to how are we going to continue to guide people towards light, towards knowledge, towards being their best and better selves, not only just for themselves, but for everyone. And it shouldn't just be a few that care, it should be everyone, and everyone should care. Um, if not for others, for yourself too. Um, and so yeah, I think that would be the biggest, most important thing, is having the know-how and the understanding that we constantly have to be, yes, living in the present, but us as a network seeing into the future and having a being cognizant of how trends and behaviors can and will in fact change. um I know I give very detailed answers, but I hope that that speaks to your question and
Oh
simple
no,
that.
you good. I want detail. You know what I'm saying? Because I want people to uh, understand and get to know you, and that's one thing. So going into your music and Circumstantial Saint, I want to talk about one of the first projects that you did,
Yeah.
I Am Light. But I know you did something after that, but I want to get into I Am Light because I feel like you've grown so much.
Yeah.
And you have a different type of sound,
Yeah.
which I love. And I think because of the things that we talk about, doesn't I don't think people fully understand what shadow band means, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying, because the powers that be are stopping real change from happening, uh regardless if it's through music or art or education.
Facts.
They don't want us to know better so that we can do better.
Facts.
But I want to play uh, I Am Light a little bit, and I want to know where I Am Light came from. What was your vision behind it, and what do you feel about it now? You got 116 releases, so
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So I mean, just to go to have this much and then see where you're at. I want to let me be quiet. Let me play this, and then we'll get Circumstantial Saint's thoughts.
Flesh and bones don't sit on this throne. Flesh and bones don't sit on this throne. My right is divine, my right is owned. I am spirit, I am light, shining in experience of this experience. In these flesh and bones, you say. No, it's not just the blood, it's the soulmate, it's the crossings, it's the intersections, the stop signs and lights, turns and bridges, the canopies, light poles. Is it light or is it dark? I'm spirit, I'm light. Eated, needed, seated in fertile land, nurtured, intended for growth. Darkness falls, don't take cover. Turn on, activate your light, and don't fight. I am spirit, I am light. Traveling into, out of, through, and above. Lives, thoughts, emotions, truths, moves, paths. Yo.
So how did it feel hearing that?
So, it gives me a nostalgic feeling when I hear it. And I don't know how other people would feel when they hear like my most recent track and my first track, but for me, it doesn't sound too different from my overall sound today and how I feel blended and mastered all my sounds and tastes and inspirations into something that is uniquely Circumstantial Saint. But back then, it was something what was on my mind was what just came out. It wasn't what topic do I want to talk about. It was, who am I? How do I want to introduce myself as an artist to the world in the sense of who I am? And who I am is someone that wants to help better connect the world and help the world be a better place, help individual people also spiritually ascend to a better place, whatever that means for themselves, whether it's religiously, spiritually, whatever works for you, but getting back to yourself so that we can all better connect in a sense of community. So as far as an activist, as far as a poet, these were two concepts that I wanted to blend into how do I help the world through what I'm already passionate about. So as far as I Am Light, that was more or less what came out, was just what came out then and there, how I thought about how I wanted to change the world. But when I think about the overall sound, I'm still mellow and mysterious and spacey and deep with the sounds. It's just it's morphed into something even deeper and deeper and deeper, and it just seems like I go deeper down that rabbit hole for people. But I don't think my sound has changed overall now that I think about it. And I see you pulled up the Sainthood of Circumstantial era, which was definitely not only a dark moment, but I wanted to showcase a dark moment at that time to give people the aspect of light and dark and duality, and the fact that if there's good in the world, there's bad in the world. There has to be bad so that you can understand what good is and appreciate it, and be grateful for life in general, no matter what we go through. And so, that was exploring the dark aspect, the devil, all of that.
So, and I want to play Sainthood is Circumstantial, the dialogue. I want to play this real quick.
Oh, word. Because we talked about keeping a good balance of light and dark on this track, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we did that because every single track on that makes this album has to have the balance of the light and dark.
Mm-hmm.
It has to have more of a dark sound. They can have more of dark lyrics, cool, whatever. But there has to be some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, or some like rainbow and pot of gold for someone to grab from out of and say, okay, I needed to hear all this depressive shit because it's expelling, it's doing something for me, it's getting something out for me, but I need to be let out the dark too. Like that's my purpose. That is my point of like, that is one of my points of having this, is to make sure like I'm helping lead people out the dark. Like I'm fine. I want to find them where they are, and lead them out the dark. And that's even saying that to myself. I go through the dark. I am dark. I'm dark and I'm light, and that's why sainthood is circumstantial. Sainthood is circumstantial. Wow.
So circumstantial.
I haven't heard that in it feels like so long. It's nice, when everything that I create, everything that I put out officially, right? I think about, am I going to be able to hear this 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50 years from now and still appreciate it and still really feel my passion, my words? Or is this going to be something where I'm embarrassed? And fuck if I'm being embarrassed or whatever, excuse me, but I want to make sure that what I put out feels timeless, that it resonates with anyone, whether it's today or way in the future. I want my words and my sound to always resonate and feel classic. And that does to me.
Right. And that's why here's another one that I want to play, because you do have a range, and I want to go through. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I want you have a wide range of different types of beats, different types of sounds, and I want to go because I feel like you can hear it in your beats. So I just want to play like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of this, of Let Your Flow. But I feel like this is, to me, this shows a side differently musically. And that's what I want to do with every song that I play today, is to show people the different sides.
Bet. Let your flow feed solid growth. Let your flow, let it go. Keep yourself in the know. You are your own power, your own source, your own enemy, your own synergy. Grow by being open. Grow by feeling, not just seeing. Power and knowledge. Let it flow. Let your flow. Let it go. Solid. No. Let your flow. Let it go.
All right, man. That's you know why I love that motherfucking song. Cause that beat brings me back to the 90s where Timberland and
Word.
Magoo was banging them
Nigga,
joints.
what?
Like,
Nigga, who?
man, come on now. Like,
yo, for real. That's well, yeah, no, for real, because like the 90s music is a big inspiration behind all my music. Like, I don't know if anyone ever notices that, but every single thing I put out, there's a 90s inspiration in there somewhere. That's the era that made me. It's where my music comes from. You know what I mean? So like I was like, everybody's doing the whole covers thing, and covers are cool, they're dope, they give you perspective, they pay homage, right? But
right,
for me, I think that's where I started really defining myself as a producer, was like, yo, like that Jigga What Jigga Who beat is a classic beat, and that do is always in my head. A lot of times that beat just always pops into my head. Sometimes I was like, yo, I want to do something with that beat, and I know that I can. So I threw that on a Jersey club style, like, kick, and it just boom, there you go. But like I forgot about that shit. That
no,
track,
because
like,
this
it still
next one
hits.
brings out, I feel like a whole different, like a 90s, because people forget about the club scene, right? Because that was big. I'm about to be 47 this year.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it's like in the Midwest, but over here on the East Coast, Jersey club music is big right now.
Right. Well,
It's becoming
it used to be
mainstream to where
big.
like these kids, these 20-year-olds and stuff, they're picking it up now. So
Okay.
like for me, it's like, all right, well, this is what I grew up with. This is my biggest inspiration. This is the music that I love the most. I'm gonna just jump on that bandwagon, but put my spin on it. This is my take on it, my sound that I've grown to define over the past 2 years at this point.
Right.
But it's always been a love. Like these beats have always been in my head. I'm now putting it out there.
Well, here goes Philly Love, and this is the Jersey
Yeah.
Club remix.
Yeah. Philly Love. Brotherly love, sisterly affection, government neglection, population of American reflection, Kensington theme, summer of scene, Schuylkill flows green, only cheesesteak lovers still dream. Philly love, brotherly love, Philly love, Philly love, brotherly love, Philly love, Philly love, brotherly love.
So that was another sound that you've seen, me growing up in the 90s, the 80s, the 90s of, the house party scenes. That's the kind of, what you heard, you know what I'm saying, for beats. So for me, I always felt a great appreciation when it came to your beats, because it brought me to an era of where a community was actually a community. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think for me, that's a big inspiration, and it gives me those feelings too. Like I was raised by a single mom, but I had like the greater family around. So like, I had memories of my mom, getting ready for the club on the weekends and, bumping this music and going out, you know what I mean? Like, but it was a good vibe. It was a good feeling. My mom was big on music. I grew up in a family big on music. So like DJing it up, DJ cuts, at cookouts, my uncle on the ones and twos, like it so I was immersed in that, and growing up outside of Philly, listening to, I always had my boombox, I always had the radio, listening to the radio, listening to the DJs, listening to the Baltimore club music, Jersey club music on the weekends and in the evenings. So for me, that was my life, you know. And it stuck, especially when it comes to music taste and music inspiration, even if which also was big in the late 90s, early 2000s, and left a huge impact on me, was neo soul. So that's another side of my sound where I do have like slower tracks that are more like ballads that might throw some neo soul in there, but also I've come to blend neo soul with Jersey, Baltimore, and Philly club music into a certain sound. So like on some tracks, like the Philly club remix of Philly Love definitely was where I noticed I probably started that whole neo soul Jersey club blend somewhere around there, to where now this new album I'm coming out with this year, Remember My Name, definitely I feel like I finally gotten to a point where that is my sound. It's a blend between neo soul and Jersey club music.
Well, I want to go through another one, and this is Rubber City, the Murderapolis remix. And I want to talk about this afterwards because, and I'm gonna let this whole joint play because this, for us, this holds a special place for me, and I'll explain why after. And
I will say it was definitely a turning point for me too, musically, and
So let me play this, bro.
Life that's been taken by police brutality.
Black man deserve joy.
The names come and the change is the name of day. It's the same. No one wants the A. No one wants the A. And so fame becomes the game.
Scared of nothing. I ain't scared of nobody. I ain't. And you know what? We gotta the police say anybody nervous. I hear sirens get nervous.
This is an emergency. This is an emergency. Police sirens every day. People dying every day. Fiends ODing every day. Mama's crying every day. Father's trying every day. This the city of Murderapolis. Get your bed made. See death around the corner. Boy, I dodged the law like I owe 'em. I don't talk, I don't know 'em. Liberals plotting coons on me. Boy, I lost comrades. Some died, some crossed that line. I love the niggas that's down for me. Fuck the ones that send shots for me. Yeah, niggas working for a payout. Every day looking for a way out. Get released from jail and try to stay out. Pray to God, see how it play out. But maybe God trying to test me. This life that I'm living so stressful. In 1 second I'ma let, and everybody in here gonna catch it. Justice for Jesus. Cause right now I can't take it. Lord, when am I gonna make it? Cause our people lost and my city lost. I can't fall victim to say, please pray for my city. Hurry up and pray for my city. Real talk, I lost plenty, but I'm still out here getting it on the block. Black lives in the street, trying to eat. We all hungry. Walking up the wrong block will get your hit up. That's why I got something on me. Can't trust none, can't feed him. He ain't done nothing. I hustle hard for my city, cause my city got it. Wanna see my city have it, I ain't have it, so I went and got it. They talk down on my city, but my city matter. Black lives in the street. Please pray for my city. Too much hate in my city. Too many heartaches in my city. But I got faith in my city. It's the north side and I love that. Can't take it away from my city. Some can't relate to my city. They die every day in my city. Please pray for my city. My city. Chaz Neal. Murderapolis.
The names come and the change is the name and the date. The intention ain't the same and the blame goes around. No one wants the aim. The fame becomes the game, and these folks that have no real purpose crowd the halls with obsession to worthless law. But they're not worthless to them. They intend to rid the lands of all the things that actually make them them. Truth seekers see all lies, and this world only has one. The end may come, and I wonder who will rise. Paid attention long enough to stand up. And George and Sandra, Adam, Jalen, and Winston, Ricardo, They all have a story. Sheen, Jaheim, and the ones, and even in between. Those two. Cause it was only a month, and most don't even know about those names. The media don't want anyone to point blame at the ones who keep the machine going. And everyone stay blinded to the short side of what they call life. Cause they feed us a tight skirt and sexualize women, girls, breast eyes, and lies are told to whomever wants a dream. It is sold. Highest bidder gets larger falls. Capitalism isn't kind to the ones with brown hair and eyes. Illusion takes it all. Rubber City, rubber bullets, fire and hurting. Lies they learning. Remember accountability and discernment.
Rubber City,
Ohio. Rubber City, justice for James.
And I said, we are going to be reinforced. And I said, we're going to be reinforced. They're going to get off on killing these officers. We got here watching every boy and got to this.
We want justice for everybody else.
So exercise their right to free speech to be able to go out here and protest anything they want to, any type of injustice. But they don't want us to do it. Akron, Ohio is a police state now. We got cameras watching every move.
Rubber City, Rubber City, rubber bullets, rubber bullets, rubber bullets,
Justice
rubber
for Jalen
bullets,
Walker.
Rubber City, rubber bullets, revolution, movement, words of change. Speak up. In the stillness of the night, we find our voice. Can you hear the whispers? Can you feel the fire? Sainthood is circumstantial. We'll never tire. Movement, higher, revolutionary. We'll never expire. Revolutionaries, we made our choice. We gather strength. With one heart, we all rejoice. In this movement we're creating, will never be a ploy.
Sainthood is circumstantial. Black men deserve joy.
Ooh.
Yo, I really feel like that, like the club music I started to really get into there, but also talking about social issues, being
Right.
socially conscious. I really took a turn around that time and but also started getting deeper into more spiritual aspects, but at the same time getting deeper into social issues as well.
Whoops.
But you had said that there was something you wanted to talk about at the end of that.
Well, yeah, because Rubber City was something that we had did to go into a multitude of reasons. And, I don't think people understood what Rubber City actually meant. And that had to do with Akron.
Yep.
Being, if I remember correctly, tired. Was it Goodyear, Michelin?
Yeah. So Rubber City is paying homage to and bringing awareness to the city of Akron and the issue surrounding the murder, the execution of the young brother Jalen Walker, shot and executed by the Akron Police Department. Akron is the headquarters of all three major tire manufacturers in the United States, which would be Goodyear, Firestone, and Bridgestone. And so it's a city of rubber. It's full of rubber. So I decided to make the song Rubber City in that for that aspect.
All right. And I brought in the fact of being called, Murderapolis, and the fact that, the black men, and just not even black men, but black people, period. A lot of our murders go unsolved. We don't get no justice and accountability. And for me, I just wanted to make people aware of that. And we just need to me, honestly, wake the fuck up. Stop saying y'all woke, because y'all really ain't.
And I think that's a big part of why I do this too. There's different ways of waking people up, and I have different ways of waking people up too.
You definitely do. You definitely do. You definitely do. And I want to, I felt this is one that also showed your deep, I gotta show it. What's changed. So this is something that I felt like went back a lot of years,
Yeah.
and showed a lot.
It's time to bring Black Wall Street back.
What has changed in 2022? Police kill more black people than in any other year.
It's time to bring Black Wall Street back.
But with the war on drugs,
Corporate culture, the amount of volume in the bank accounts of some of these activists.
Color being hunted.
At Freedom Ring, it's
Tyree Nichols' death to young black men, and literally nothing has changed. Police departments are fully funded. Anybody, that's easy. We do that 365 days a year. On the leap year, we do it.
I don't think this is what King had envisioned in his dream. There's so many uncut gems that need to be freed, thinking they unpolished when really they hold the most beauty. Laying silent, walked on as they awoke into a world still divided, thinking it's divisible when it should be united. Not seeing that pigment is just part of the evolution, like a chameleon forced to adapt to your surroundings. So why is color being hunted?
only thing that changed were the chains.
Rioted language of
You know what? I really fuck that, because damn, I never even saw this video, and that's, I need to slap myself in the face. Yes, no, I feel bad as hell right now. I've heard this song over and over, but I didn't even know you did a video.
Yeah, I did a video for every track on that album.
Damn, I need to start paying more attention. Damn, no, because what's crazy is a lot of that people will probably think that's stock footage. It's not. That's footage.
That's all. Yeah, that's
right.
all me.
Right.
That's all me or you, but it's mostly me.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Footage that I've personally filmed myself. Pictures of family and friends that I've collected. But that's all me.
Right. And I gotta say, because I know that this is what bugs me, and this is the reason why I wanted to bring you on, because I see people like, you know, Unicorn Riot, and this is no disrespect to any other independent media. This is my perspective, my opinion. You don't get your flowers, man, because you do a lot of good work. And I see that people who pander to the masses and pander to the powers, you know, get uplifted. And it's when people go against the grain, you know, there's more hurdles that we got to jump, right? And to get even heard, or to get our, you know, things. Because I'll tell you right now that what people don't even know is that you have books. It's not just, you know, music, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it bugs me, because you have done a lot of great, and I mean this, great work that is underappreciated. You know what I'm saying? Because there has stuff that you have done that should have won an award, a Grammy. If I'm going to really be speaking honestly, but because of the simple fact of that you talk about them people, you know what I'm saying? And you talk about the system and how they have traumatized and to keep on brutalizing our communities, and we fall for it because we are programmed and indoctrinated. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I look at Michael Jackson and how, you know, he started out being very poppy, and you know, that was when he was at his biggest, at his most famous, you know. But then when he started realizing that he had also a duty as essentially a leader, someone that could speak to the world, a mouthpiece to the world about the plight of the oppressed, about the poor people, about Black people's strife, he decided to pivot and start talking about social issues, human rights issues, you know, about everything. It wasn't just about Black people that he spoke of, but the song that speaks the most to me is They Don't Really Care About Us. That
Right.
is a really huge inspirational song for me because of the way that he chose to do it, the sound of the song. Michael is no hard gangster, and neither am I, but we still have our ways of being definitively blunt, taking a clear militant stance and saying this is what's going on, listen or don't, but I'm not sugarcoating anything for you, and I've learned to be, it's not about being bold or courageous, because I don't feel that. I feel it's more about just saying what needs to be said. If no one else is going to say it and it's in my heart and on my tongue, I'm going to put it out there, and have no regrets about it, because I'm glad that someone is going to hear it, or there's the potential for someone to hear it and then not die with me. But it goes back to having a duty to making contributions to the world that can help. And that one song, Rubber City, with You and I, definitely started on a whole track for me to do that. I think that was from last year, and last year I
Right.
found a whole path of combining the spirituality aspect and the mantras and stuff that I was still doing, and I still am doing, with social justice issues and stuff like that. And now I'm at a point where I feel like there is no boundaries, there's no there's no boundaries, there's no walls between all of these issues for me to discuss in any capacity.
Definitely. And next, I want to get into, because you're more than just an artist, you're more than just an activist. Hmm, you're a producer, um, and you don't just produce for yourself, but you also produce for others. And I want to talk about that, because you do have others that we work with, um,
Yep.
that are. I was like, damn, where to go? Oh, I am already showing it. So, we have, Divine Marie, Love
Yes.
Parker, Ma-
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Matt, Trip Young. So
Yes.
there's so many, and I don't like saying Mansa.
Mansa Abuchi, yeah.
Thank you. So I don't like murdering people's name, getting it wrong. Um, so there's more than just, and there's a lot. You've done work with some others too. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
But I want to just play this real quick, because this gives a different sound, and I think everybody's got a soundbite on this. Um, so let me play it real quick.
To help this world grow. I am a conscious start being. I am a conscious start being. I am a conscious start being. I am here only for a part-time journey. This isn't my full aspect of life.
Slow, like the wind. Breathe out, breathe in.
Not cool. Not cool. Would give all fancy toys to have you by my side, driving and weeping by the good ones.
Everything that you pride of past. Circumstantial Saint revolutions.
Where I had to change some things. I choose to look at myself selfishly, because this path that I'm on is only about me.
Rise against the system, rise and fight for the dreams, the children, the hurt, hunger, lost souls from cancer's addictions, slavery and sins. Fight for the lost friends. Fight for
Authentically you. And everything's always gonna be okay. Just keep vibing, just keep vibing, just keep vibing. Just keep vibing, just keep vibing, just keep vibing.
Hey.
Damn.
Yo.
Right.
Yeah. I be, I definitely do so much that I forget all the stuff that I do. But that whole, yeah, if y'all haven't listened to that album yet, go buy that album, please listen to that, because that album's a whole vibe, and it really is eclectic, but it has a theme. We call ourselves conscious revolutionaries, and it has like a whole neo soul vibe to it, but you could still bop to it. It's something that I think everyone could appreciate for
Oh
sure.
no, they definitely can. They definitely can. Um, damn, you got so much. I'm gonna get into.
I was gonna say, give me if you can, give me something from my new joint.
I am. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to go to.
Yeah, I got
Actually, you know what?
three
Wait, hold on.
albums.
I want to go into one more project before that,
Yeah.
because this one, I feel like New Jack City, because you did a lot of
Oh
work
yeah.
with New Jack City. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And that is
And
available for people to hear too.
right.
For
So
people
I,
to
I want
buy.
to play this short little tidbit, and it's just a minute and 22 seconds, but I just love the fact that you did this and all the things that you did behind it. And that's what I want to talk a little bit before we get into your newest project.
Like, all kinds of weird things. Kinds of creatures and stuff like that. This one. Really tell me what the program was. The program has to do with the Matrix, the world that we live in.
Hmm. So talk about New Jack City.
You said talk about New Jack City?
Yes.
So New Jack City is a whole, it's a world, it's a realm set about 1,000 years in the future. But it's no different really from our own world, with the exception that people are looking to rise up in that world against their oppressors, against the system. They realize that they're all being pinned against one another, so that they can't rise up against the few that control the world. And so it's a way for me to speak in another term to another pocket of people, or people that want something more fantasy, because I enjoy fantasy narratives, but it really is set in a mirroring way of the world that we currently live in too, and how are we going to help change it. And these people are actually trying to change it. So there's all these different races of people that are rising up, working together to rise up against the system and the status quo. And so there's books and poems that accompany this album. And so each song is talking about some kind of aspect, whether it's a particular area of the realm, or it's talking about love or the system, or revolution, different concepts, different topics, but all under the umbrella of this world. So New Jack City is definitely a project near and dear to my heart, and you can get even more like details and more immersed in the world through the books that I have. They're ebooks available on Lulu.
Yeah, we'll
You
put
could
the
just
link in the
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where people can, get more in-depth details about this world. And I am in the works of creating a few more books as well for this world, and more releases for New Jack City in the form of music. But for now, you can actually go download and listen to the album New Jack City, which is on Bandcamp on this site here as well.
So I'm going to get into your newest project, and I'm going to play a couple songs off of this. The first is Let Loose.
Yeah.
I just like the beat on that, so we're gonna Let Loose.
Singular circumstantial. When we gonna let go? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. When we gonna let go and manifest the facts? Let loose. 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 I will no longer take the side of wasting time. I am aware, I am smart, so I can care a little bit more from my mind. Manifesting, hard hustle, soft grind. I seek to enjoy the fruits of mother sign. Let loose, 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 let loose. Alright, let me spit this and I'll feel the juice. Come on, philosophy, letting loose, feeling good, I won't stop me, I won't stop, I will rise to each occasion, ain't nothing gonna top me, lose the rules, I defend my selfishness with self-care, an abundance of love, I love me. I will let go humbly. Take care of me. No more excuses to silently leave.
Shadows of the night, where liquor whispers truth. Obama gave us phone. Trump handed out the loot. Trump handed out the loot. The money runs dry. The game continues on. Online beats, digital wars until the break of dawn. Fake change, fake change, fake change, fake change, fake fame, fake change, fake fame in a world full of facade. While real issues linger beneath the charades. We speak our truth. We speak our truth. We speak our truth in a world where lies reign. In the pursuit of youth, eulogies for those slain. Echoes of our voices. We continue to fight. Let amnesty chaos find a moment to let loose.
Manifesting fruit. When you gonna let go? When you gonna let go? When you gonna let go? Let go. Let go. Be your best. Come on, let loose. 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 Let this and I'm lucky spit. 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 Let this and I'm lucky spit.
Nervous and service.
Alright, let me spit this and I'm lucky spit.
Let loose. 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 Nervous and service. In the rhythm of the night, we find our refuge. For in the darkest hours, there's still a spark of hope. From the ashes of despair, we'll find a way to cope. Let loose, let loose, let loose, let loose. In the melody of our struggle, we'll rise.
Yo, that end part though, like you smashed it. The beat, just everything. I that's one of my favorite tracks actually. Because it's a standout track. It's like purely hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, and I needed that on the album. That's why I hit you up for it. And it just that track just hits.
The next one I want to play is Truth Seeking. That's with Devon Marie. And this one is a banger as well. The whole album is a banger, and people go grab it. I'm about to put that in the. As soon as I'm done playing this, I'm gonna put it in the chat. But let me play Truth Seeking, and then we're gonna talk about this one as well.
Just remember my. Just remember my.
Break it down, sir. Break it down, sir. Hey, break it down, serve it, get it. Break it down, sir. Break it down, sir. Hey, break it down, serve it, get it. Break it down, sir. Break it down, sir. Hey, break it down, serve it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. I understand.
Truth seeking. Seeking the truth of my roots. Planting my seeds so I can bear fruit. This is me. Who are you? Want to know the truth so I can reach the depths of my soul. Truth seeking, stumbling through knowledge, so intriguing. Truth seeking. Free in my mind of what they taught me. I am free. Go ahead and free yourself too. Let loose, let go. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Speak your truth.
Break it down, 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 break it down.
Baby.
Yeah, if we knew that now, do you think we'd be this mad? I mean, everything happens the way it's meant to, I guess. Find the truth seekers, knowledge, free, get it right, 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 get it. Free.
Don't sleep. Get it.
Free. Get it.
Hell yeah.
But you know what's crazy though? If you don't know that Freaknik era,
right?
You know what I'm saying? People ain't gonna understand that. Don't stop. Get it.
For real.
Get it. Doodle Brown.
Word. You already know.
Right. But people ain't gonna understand that. And that's what I love, because it brings you back to an era, man. Bless up, Mike. It definitely
what's going on?
Brings you back to an era, man. But then it's like when you listen to the lyrics, you listen to the words,
right?
You know
right.
It brings you back into that era of community and accountability, but then with the words of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got to give you your flowers, man, because you do it big.
I appreciate that, yo, for real.
For real, you do
really
it big.
do.
And I wish that people could understand it. And the more that I think that people would be able, because I know you've done live performances, and I hope that when people see this, that because Juneteenth is coming up, that somebody would reach out to you, man, and be like, you know what, brother, we need some music at our event, and here you go. Word. I know you all the way out in Lancaster, but I don't care if it's somebody out in California. This brother is worth it. He's worth the budget. He's worth the budget. So I just wanted to say that.
Word, Joey. I appreciate that. For real. Like, and to speak to what you're saying about the sound, like the message. Well, for one, truth seeking it's about introspection. It's about spiritual concepts, about being free, living within your truth. It's about being authentic, living with purpose, and all the while, you're shaking your ass to Little Jersey Club beat, which ain't nothing wrong with twerking if it's for a reason. Which it's about feeling good about yourself. It's about sitting back and actually thinking about life. Why not do it while you're dancing and you're feeling good? Because with this album, I give the chance for letting loose, but I also give the chance for introspection, for talking about it's $20, either $20 or less, depending on what version you get on Bandcamp. Whether it's talking about love, whether it's talking about rising up against the system, political issues, topics of self-care, or spiritual religious aspects of life. I talk about everything. I get really vulnerable with this album though, which I think there's something for everyone of which they can relate to and sound too. But this is a deeply personal album for me that I really am excited to share with the world, for real, for real.
Right.
Yeah, every single song is deeply personal for me.
Well, I want to get into. I want to play "Remember My Name," and you did this with Ben Oaks, who
Yeah,
you did almost your first couple albums. You did some stuff with him
yep,
on his music, on his label and stuff. Um, but I know it kind of this was a, and I what a nostalgic
yeah. Return
moment. You know
home
what I'm
kind of
saying?
thing.
Right. So I want to play this, and I want to talk about it afterwards, and um, finish talking about Circumstantial Saint. So let me play a couple minutes of this.
Yo. Remember my name. Remember my name. Remember my name. Remember my name. I wear my name on my sleeve. Tomorrow, I may not see. My heart is on my sleeve. Cause my people cannot breathe. My people cannot breathe. Remember my name. Body bags and dilapidated stacks of concrete slabs. Useless abuses. Apartheid is not a clash. Domination for sport. Waterboards, no surfboards. Oppression for the weak. You get oppression. You get neglection. Dominations for the generations of the ones who are truly free. I read my name on my arm. Remember my name. Though I was here beyond the scars. Remember my name. Remember my name. You may not know my face, but my soul has a place. Body took up space. Here. You may not know my face, but my soul has a place. Body took up space. Here. I wrote my name on my arm, so remember my name. Remember my name. Remember my name. Crushed spirits, babies gone, no one could hear it. Beneath the screams lies dozens of entire dead families. That's generations on generations born into calamity. There was a time we all held hands and together grew fruit. It seems the youth won't know what it means to be equal and one and not be ruled. 1947 to 2023, 1947 to 2023, 1947 to 2023. The world is watching. Which side are you on of history? Remember my name. They tell us to wear our name. Remember my 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 name.
Motherfuckers definitely gonna remember your name. That's, and this is what I say is all publicity is good publicity. I'm gonna say that for sure because I've gone through the and I bet, well, maybe not as much, but you know, I used to Google myself and I still do sometimes. And but to see all the bad shit, you know, but I always took the bad as critiquing, right? I didn't never criticism, right? I never took it because one thing that I've learned is you got to have tough skin.
Yeah.
And everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got an opinion.
Yep.
So I just was able to, I remember my grandpa always used to tell me, listen, take the stuff that you need and let the rest go by you.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I became accustomed to, regardless if it was good or bad. I just took the shit that I needed and let the rest go by.
Right.
So, and I feel like that's one thing that I know me and you've had discussions about, you know, a lot. Because we do have trolls, you know what I'm saying? You've had people that have made fake pages under your name.
Yep.
So it's uh, it can be nerve-wracking some days. I know
Oh yeah.
you, and I don't think people fully understand, like,
What it's like to be in these shoes or do this. Yeah.
right,
Um I don't even think about it, stop and think about it much, because we really don't have the time to, uh until someone brings it up. And we do face a lot of different things. However, uh you can find solace in sharing community with one another and being surrounded with people that continue to encourage you, like yourself, and continue to motivate you to stay on the right track, or that you're doing the right thing. If you said bad publicity is good publicity, which is true. Like, if someone ain't saying something bad about you, you ain't doing it right, as they
ain't
say.
doing it right.
So
Right.
right. So, I mean, I take everything with a grain of salt and continue to stay focused on, what it is that I seek to do with the gifts that I have, and what the universe, what God has given me, the abilities to, speak in the way that I do. And the title track, Remember My Name, I wasn't sure if I was going to have this new album, that is the title. But I don't know, something just spoke to me, and I went with it, with the whole album cover and that song as the title track for the album, because I did an album last year for Palestine and for Palestinians, and to bring awareness for it.
Right.
So go check that out too. It's called House Free 3, um, Justice and Freedom. And so, I mean, that the title speaks for itself. It's about justice and freedom, and it's about the plight of Palestinians, but also about their freedom and liberation. So I wanted to keep it positive amongst all of the chaos, and all the while it's a house themed album. So that was really important to me. And so it's also not just a fad, right? It's something that I'm going to continue to speak on and talk about in some form or fashion. And so this song was actually a song that I've recorded during that album, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to put it out yet. And so it just became a standalone. And I said, you know what? Like, this has the potential to have something completely surrounding it. And that's, but the actual topic of the song is about Palestine, and it's about the children of Palestine and how they have to write their name on their arms, so that if God forbid they get blown to pieces, and their arm survives, that at least the world knows that they were there, they existed, and knows who they were, their name. But if you listen to a lot of the lyrics, they could pertain to anyone going through plight, and just wanting to be remembered in the world. So the song has a multi-layer of themes and perspectives and aspects to it, that I really wanted to highlight. And the manner of the sound of which Ben Oakes, shout out to Ben Oakes, that he produced, really matched the caliber of the lyrics and the content so beautifully. I'm a huge fan of horns in general, just brass instruments in general, and you will hear that throughout my music, whether it's club music or whether it's a neo soul track or a hip hop track. I always throw some horns in there somewhere in some kind of aspect. And so this was a song that I was able to, like, express my things that I can't express through words get expressed through instruments too. And that's a big part of my sound too.
No, and that definitely is. Um, I do want to thank you for, coming on today, man, and
Thank you, bro.
being able to let go some of, not let go, but talk to people about you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because I think people get a bad narrative sometimes, and
yeah,
um, I like to let people hear from the horse's mouth. You know, because I know we had a great conversation a couple months ago. Reverend Tim Christopher.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have to do that again. I know people's
yeah.
schedule's been busy, and
Shout out to Rev.
right now he out here still doing. He out here still doing Rev thing. You know, turning that other cheek. I love him to death, man. I love him to death because he always be getting harassed, man, over the dumbest
Don't
shit.
we all?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like while we were doing this morning, I'm not gonna say who, but somebody messaged in a group chat that we're in and was like, "What's going on with J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Nigga, that ain't even news. Like, come on, why are we talking about that dumbass shit?"
Hey, look, this has become my perspective. Is if it's news to some people, we
It's
gotta at
news to
least.
everybody. I know, but
No, that's not what I'm gonna say. That, you know, as a journalist and as, you know, a platform, it's more like, well, why are people so concerned with this? And let's connect that to the greater aspect of the world, the country. You know, I'm not a huge fan of pop culture and what transpires these days. However, I try my best to stay immersed in it to understand trends and, you know, people's mindsets for the very least. And, you know, that particular bit of news, I don't think has any real significance. I could care less about. But some things do hold some kind of significance in like history or culture, you know, and they may hold some significance. But at the same time, you know, when it comes to music specifically, there's so many people who don't get heard or don't get
right.
the, you know, talked about like they should. You know, we're talking about Meg Thee Stallion's foot getting shot. Like, you know, and I'm glad she's
Allegedly.
doing well, you know, but you know, why are we not talking enough about how she educated herself and still went through school while she was, you know, becoming this big famous person? That's not talked about enough, you know, that she still is looking to be smart and have a game plan if this quote unquote fame doesn't last. That's something that I think should be highlighted more. Why is the fact that, you know, Terrence Howard and his immense, beautiful mind is not highlighted enough? People want to go see Hustle and Flow, which is still a good movie and really does highlight Black culture in a way that people do need to see and understand to understand why some of us are the way that we are. However, you know, and I know I'm going off on a ramble, but it does speak to some of the issues that I try to bring up, whether it's as a journalist or as a poet, is, you know, painting a picture of narratives, whether it's through entertainment, which a lot of us as Black and brown folk tend to get into because struggle breeds art. Trials and tribulations breed art, and it's a way of expressing an outlet, but it also is a way of giving information through oral history, written down history. It is another form of journalism. And so, you know, these people may be talking about asinine things, and we're at a point in history where it's a lot of asinine things going around, but it still is it's
No,
something. No.
I
I
don't
think
mean
it's a point to say this because I think some things we need to pay attention to understand.
no, I'm gonna show you why I'm laughing because it's funny
Uh,
as hell you bring up Terrence Howard because that nigga all in the news this morning. Because no, he just did an interview and this is what he was wearing, and they say he
what?
looking like bro, yes, and he was looking like Kitty Foreman.
That's you kidding me?
From
That's
the
how he's
70s.
looking like right now.
Bro, yes, that's how he's looking right now. That's
On
why I
some
was like,
serious shit. Like seriously, he's not on that 70s show. Like,
no, here's the interview right here.
Well, let's go to another one. CAA, Creative Artists Agency, they represented me. They also represented some of the people from Big Bang Theory. They also did the deal with Fox. My show was with Fox. The people from Big Bang was with Fox. We had 28 million viewers. They had 11 million viewers. They were getting $2 million, damn near $3 million an episode. Those white kids that had no name recognition, no Oscar nomination, none of that. We have 28 million viewers, and these jokers are paying me $325,000 an episode. And I'm like, every year I'm asking my agents what's going on, what's going on. I didn't know that the packaging deal, my agents were incentivized to keep my pay low, so they'll go to Fox and say no, and they'll say no themselves because they were producers. They owe me over $120 million based on what would have been paid to white counterparts. So now I'm in the process of suing them about it. And when I asked them about it, about my money, they sent me a check for $666.
Wait,
$666 to say $666 exactly. Not saying where it's from. So I was like, oh, y'all trying to threaten me. This is a threat. This is a threat right here. And y'all think I'm scared? You think I'm gonna be quiet about this? Because I wonder what you're doing to every other black artist. How do you negotiate $2 million for a white cat and negotiate $325,000 for a black cat that has 3 times what the white cat is getting? They were getting $750,000 for
that's some real shit though.
Right, yeah, no. First of all, because I have a show called The Colonizer's Coffin. And this is the kind of stuff that I like to bring up and talk about. First of all, why he looked like he just stepped out of a 1970s blaxploitation film.
I hope he's
minus the gun blazing.
I hope he's
right.
making one. That's
I don't like. Last time I saw, he had a fade. I don't know what's going on with the hair.
I don't know what's going on with that either.
I thought maybe it was a promotion for a film. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe he just stepped off a film set. I'm hoping. But what he's speaking is truth, everyone. And even though these busters make so much more than we could even fathom or hope to, want in our lives or even lifetimes, the disparities between black and white artists are still important to highlight and push for the rights for equality and equity within all facets of workplaces. And that includes Hollywood. So even though it's like, oh, well, they make enough money, they make more money than us, but they still deserve their fair share compared to their white counterparts. If Taraji P. Henson is making $125,000 for supporting role and Brad Pitt is making $10 million for the lead role, I think the disparities are a little bonkers there. And I think that those things do need to be addressed. And the more that these actors and actresses speak up against it, the more that hopefully the people that worship them as, consumers of this crap that they put out, hopefully we'll get the picture that, oh, well, maybe we should analyze this whole system because the people that we're watching on TV are analyzing the system they're in and they're saying it's unequal and they say it's unfair and they get enough, that I could ever have in my whole life. Maybe I should analyze mine too.
Right.
Those are my hopes that at least a few of these people that just soak up this material that these famous people put out, at least they're looking at it too. Like, well, Monique is finally getting her flowers. Cat Williams is finally getting his flowers. It's not just about gossiping or snitching or however people want to, but there's enough people, hopefully, that's picking it up. Like they're putting their Ice Cube, Kanye West, they're putting their lives on the line. Michael Jackson, Prince, putting their lives, or Whitney Houston, putting their lives on the line to speak up about the atrocities that our whole world is being pushed into for the benefit of a few. And so everything, all this stuff with the celebrities can go back to that because we see it with our own eyes right in front of our faces, but not everyone wants to pick up that information.
Hell no, because motherfuckers been giving out signs for years about certain people.
And you know what? Terrence Howard, he is an incredibly smart individual. And look him up and the theories that he puts out and how detailed and intricate they are. Some people may call him crazy or whatever, but I think that people think that just because he started out, he's an actor. But even that in itself requires someone with a really bright mind to be able to step into a whole character on screen in front of tons of other people. That's a lot too in itself. So I'm not knocking the profession, but Terrence Howard, as I don't know, as crazy as he looked in that visual, yeah, I don't know what that's about. We're gonna have to have another discussion with him, or Google why was Terrence Howard looking like 1970s Shaft theme up in this thing. However, what he was saying is something to think about. So I want to leave y'all with that.
No, he definitely did, man. Thank you for blessing the Urban Conservative today, man. I do appreciate you coming on. And anything, last words?
Yeah, of course. Yo, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be in lock and step with you and watching you grow. And so it's a pleasure to be interviewed by you. You have watched me in a way that sometimes, when you're doing so much and you're in your own world and you're just putting out this, that, and the third, you don't get a chance to stop and look and see the things that you've done. So your friends and your family tend to remind you of that. So it's definitely my pleasure and I appreciate it. I do want to say that, again, this new series of releases that I'm putting out mean a lot to me, and it would mean a lot to me if y'all go out and support it. You can go to circumstantialsaint.bandcamp.com. The link is actually at the bottom of the screen, going across the bottom of the screen right now. And yes, my album, Remember My Name, is available for pre-order. You can buy it and listen to the album. And there's a remix, Jersey Club, Baltimore Club style remix album for it. And then there's an EP for it, which are cuts that didn't make the album, but are still a part of the era nonetheless, that I wanted to put out. And then there's tons of singles, standalone singles that are not a part of the album, but didn't make the cut either. So there's like tons of new releases I have out there for y'all to check out. So I really appreciate it if you go ahead and support. And you can also catch the rest of my music, tons of releases, on any music streaming service that you listen to, whether it's iTunes, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever you listen to, my music's available. But yeah, I really appreciate the love, the highlight, and just remember that we are all connected in some way. So it's about respect. It's about support. Whether you have your family and your friends physically with you, whether you have people that have passed away, whether you have people that you need to respect their boundaries and not be around. Everything is all out of love. We're all connected in some way. So whether you could physically be with someone or not, you can still make a crucial impact in their life in some way. And I want to remind y'all that and leave y'all with that. I hope y'all have a blessed day. I hope y'all check out my music and also support the Urban Conservative and the Leon Block. We work hard to help enlighten the world.
Oh, again, man, thank you so much for coming on and blessing the Urban Conservative today. I hope everybody has a great Monday. Start of the week, man. I wanted to get off and do something different because I am going to take a little hiatus. At the end of this week, I'm going to take a few weeks off to finish my album so I can get it done and get it out here, man. I need to focus. So I feel like it's what I have written is like out of waste, and I have written so much more, and I need to stop doing that. So I know I've got some of it done, just need to put some more songs on wax. So
I got so many beats just waiting for you.
Oh, I already know. That's why I'm about to take a little hiatus, and when I come back for season 4, I'm gonna do something different. So that's what I'll be working on. I probably won't be back until after my birthday, which is May 12th. So probably going to take a month off. But I will be doing other things along that during that time. So probably going to be doing Twitter spaces, so people can learn. And that way we can be more involved. And it's just not me on here just talking to people, right? It's people can actually talk back at me. And I feel like, people feel like since I've been getting that little Twitter hate, I've been hiding. No, I haven't been hiding. There's a time and there's a place for everything. And I'm not going to let somebody else be able to control my story, my situation. So that's why I'm not going anywhere, because y'all don't scare me. Y'all are bringing up my past, not my present, my past. So with that being said, man, win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well. Y'all have a great one.
Urban Conservative.